Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the noise of the world? Social media, work pressures, constant notifications. Our lives are filled with endless distractions. Yet, despite being surrounded by people and technology, many of us still experience an underlying sense of loneliness. The Buddha once said, "He who sits alone lies down alone, walks alone in diligent practice, and alone tames himself should find delight in living in the forest." This statement highlights a powerful truth. Solitude is not something to fear. Instead, it can be a gateway to enlightenment, personal growth, and deep inner peace. But what does it truly mean to be alone? And why do so many spiritual traditions emphasize solitude? In this in-depth discussion, we will explore the profound wisdom behind being alone, the difference between loneliness and solitude, and how you can transform time spent alone into one of the most powerful tools for self-discovery and fulfillment. For many people, the idea of solitude brings a sense of discomfort. In modern society, success is often equated with being surrounded by people, relationships, and material possessions. We grow up with the belief that happiness comes from external validation, having friends, a family, a thriving career, and a busy social life. But why do so many people feel lonely even when surrounded by others? The root of this fear lies in our attachment. We become attached to external sources of happiness and rely on them to define our self-worth. This is why, when we find ourselves alone, we may feel empty. The silence forces us to confront ourselves, our thoughts, our fears, and the unresolved emotions we have buried under the distractions of daily life. However, the fear of being alone is an illusion. True fulfillment does not come from external sources, but from within. This is why many spiritual leaders, including the Buddha, chose solitude as a path to enlightenment. Before he became the Buddha, Prince Siddhartha lived a life of immense luxury. As the son of a powerful king, he had access to all the pleasures of the world: fine clothing, delicious food, and an extravagant palace. But despite having everything, he felt a deep sense of dissatisfaction. One day, he witnessed the suffering of sickness, old age, and death. These realizations shook him to his core. He understood that no amount of material wealth could protect him from suffering. Determined to find the truth, he renounced his princely life and set off on a journey of spiritual discovery. For years, he practiced extreme self-mortification, believing that denying himself food and comfort would lead to enlightenment. However, he soon realized that this approach was just another form of attachment, an attachment to suffering. This is when he discovered the middle way, a path that avoids extremes of both indulgence and self-denial. Alone under the Bodhi tree, he meditated deeply, facing his inner fears, desires, and illusions. After intense reflection and insight, he attained enlightenment. This story teaches us that solitude, when used correctly, can be a powerful tool for transformation. By stepping away from distractions and external influences, we can connect with our true selves and uncover deeper truths about life. People often confuse loneliness with solitude, but they are not the same. Loneliness is the painful feeling of isolation, of craving companionship and feeling disconnected from others. Solitude is the intentional act of being alone with oneself in a way that fosters peace, self-reflection, and inner growth. When we resist being alone, we feel lonely. But when we embrace solitude, we discover its benefits. Many monks and spiritual practitioners live in solitude not because they are avoiding society, but because they understand that true wisdom arises in silence. Consider this analogy. A muddy pond will never be clear if it is constantly disturbed. But if left undisturbed, the mud settles, and the water becomes clear. Similarly, when we allow ourselves to be still and alone, our mind settles, and we gain clarity about our lives. Modern research confirms what Buddhism has taught for centuries. Solitude is beneficial for mental and emotional well-being. Studies have shown that spending time alone can increase creativity. Many great thinkers, from Albert Einstein to Nikola Tesla, valued solitude as a way to cultivate innovative ideas. Enhance emotional regulation. Solitude allows us to process our emotions without external distractions. Strengthen self-awareness. When we are alone, we can observe our thoughts and behaviors without the influence of others. Reduce stress and anxiety. Quiet reflection helps calm the nervous system and promotes inner peace. Instead of fearing solitude, we should learn to embrace it as a necessary aspect of personal and spiritual growth. If solitude is so beneficial, why do so many people struggle with it? The problem is not being alone, but how we interpret being alone. Here are some ways to shift your mindset and make solitude a powerful tool for self-growth. 1. Develop a daily solitude practice. Set aside at least 15 to 30 minutes each day for quiet self-reflection. Turn off your phone, sit in a peaceful environment, and simply be with yourself. This can be done through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence. 2. Set a meaningful goal. One of the main reasons people feel lonely is that they lack direction. If you have a clear purpose in life, solitude becomes a gift. Ask yourself, what am I passionate about? What skills do I want to develop? How can I use my time alone to grow spiritually and mentally? A meaningful goal will give your solitude a sense of purpose. 3. Embrace mindfulness. Mindfulness means being fully present in the moment without judgment. When we practice mindfulness, we realize that solitude is not emptiness, it is fullness. Every breath, every moment of stillness is an opportunity to deepen our understanding of life. 4. Study spiritual teachings. Many sacred texts, from the Buddhist sutras to the Bhagavad Gita, contain wisdom that can help us navigate solitude. Reading these texts during alone time can inspire and uplift us. 5. Connect with nature. Nature has always been a source of peace for spiritual seekers. The Buddha found enlightenment under a tree. Many monks meditate in forests and mountains. Being alone in nature helps us reconnect with the simplicity of existence. 6. Create art or music. Solitude is an excellent time to engage in creative activities. Many great artists and writers used solitude to produce their best work. Whether it's painting, writing poetry, or playing an instrument, creative expression can transform loneliness into joy. True happiness does not come from external validation, but from within. By embracing solitude, we can develop self-awareness, cultivate inner peace, and discover our life's true purpose. The next time you find yourself alone, don't rush to fill the silence with distractions. Instead, sit with yourself. Listen to your thoughts, observe your emotions, learn to enjoy your own company. Solitude is not a curse, it is a blessing. It is in the stillness that we find the wisdom to live a truly fulfilling life. So, are you ready to embrace the power of being alone?